Please let me welcome you to the lecture on the errors which are the most frequent before and during a mocap session. Of course, our goal today is not only to protect you against errors, but also to show you the possibilities which current technology gives in terms of capturing and acting performance. My name is Adrian Perdjon, and I've been handling motion capture for 12 years. I've started my adventure working on the set of The Witcher 1, and today, in Bones Studio, I'm cooperating with an amazing team in many interesting 3D projects. For the purposes of our today's presentation, we'll be using the remote mocap system, which, owing to its multi-camera preview controlled by the customer, allows to remotely direct the session, which is not something, it's really important those days. It will allow us also to talk about the most frequent errors, but also to illustrate them in an interesting way. Right here, behind my back, you can see Marta. And Marta is wearing the motion capture suit with optical passive markers attached to the body. On her hands, she has stretch sense gloves, the most advanced at this moment gloves for tracking the fingers. And on head, there is a head-mounted camera. It's a wireless system from Dynamics YZ, which allows us to record her mimics during the session. It all works in a time code simultaneously, so we can capture whole performance. It's called performance capture. That's quite obvious. The table at which she's sitting is not an accidental one. It's aligned with the dimensions of the scenery which were provided by the client. And owing to this, Marta touched the furnitures in the right places perfectly. So the entire scene in Unreal looks really, really good. So you will probably ask, what can go wrong? Okay, let's start with the most frequent errors. Even if you think that you will be able to handle the role perfectly yourself, trust me, it's not so certain. I had to persuade the customers many times that acting in a session on your own is cool, but may not be totally good for the project. How this ends is that most often you can see a lack of confidence in the gestures in the final animation. Holding a gun unskillfully, an incorrect body position. Well, what can we say? It looks like a work of an amateur. Don't go down this road. The cost of hiring an actor is just a fraction of the total budget of the project. It's worth having someone who knows the issue which is covered by the script. So, let's illustrate the situation. Okay, Marta, you have a sword. Idle position, please. And try to chop the enemy. No. Okay, stop. Idle position. The enemy is in front of you. So just check it. Okay, it doesn't look good. Let the performers play the role. The stuntman do the stunt job. Let the fighter do the fightings, and let dancers do the dance. Marta is a dancer, so Marta, let's dance. Wrong body proportions. The wrong proportions between the chosen performer and the character's 3D model they are playing is another of the major errors. Imagine a skinny junkie performed during the session by a guy who's 2 meters tall and 120 kilograms of weight. Limbs penetrating one into another, incomplete contacts. This is just the top of the icebergs of issues which are waiting for us. So remember, if you need a junky, skinny 3D model, if you have a skinny 3D model, use a skinny actor. If you have huge character in your game, hire a huge performer. It will give you not only the believable of the movement, but also the character of the feeling of the character. The huge people are moving differently than the skinny one. So hire a right performer for your project. Types of games. If your game is an FPS, act in a modest and cinematic way. But if it's top-down, act in a broad of a very expressive way. Don't be afraid of overdrawing, as the player won't even feel it. What the player wants is clear and recognizable animations. If a character is firing a pistol, it has to be visible from the above. The performer cannot shoot from below the armpit. When they get on a horse, they widely sweep their leg over the horse. They don't subtly jump onto the saddle. Of course, in the case of games that have a first-person perspective, the means of expression should be used modestly and play almost like in cinematic way. But if actor has emotion that can be acted out, they don't have to overact them in close-ups. Okay, let's make an example. Marta, try to make a shot from the armpit, and we will see it from above, top down. It doesn't look good. It's no, stop it. Okay, make it more expressive, and we will see how it looks like. Oh yeah! Of course, it's still denser shooting, but you don't have to be afraid of more expression in your performance. You just think about it before, and on the motion capture session, make a pre-visualization of the character animation, and then direct it on the session. You will see that more expression in the performance, it's nothing bad, especially when your camera in the game is far away from the character. Assets proportions. Can be a rifle the size of a building? Well, yeah, it might be. Remember to send props in the package with the assets which have a common measurement systems and which are on one scale. While this isn't a big issue in the previews during the session, the post-production of the data that was played on wrong prop dimensions will be the stick up the asses of the animators in your team. Nobody wants to fix something that can be easily avoided. So remember about this detail. One measurement, one scale for whole assets you send to the studio. It might be funny on the session to play with rifles so big, but it's nothing good in the post-production. The starting poses. The starting and ending poses are the key for the animations to blend nicely and for making the post-production enjoyable. The poses agreed upon before starting the work, don't change them when everything is in progress. It will make everybody crunching. Allow to arrange everything precisely in the tree and simultaneously. They determine the nature and motor activity of the character for the performer during the session. What's important is that the performer remembers and fixes the poses in which they start and finish the animation. It may seem a trifle, but changing the position in the middle of the session means a whole lot of work and improving the animation in post-production. The starting point's always the same, and the performer must finish the animation in the exact same place. Let me show you. During the session, there's many things to to think about. There's many different topics that we have a list of 200 animations to record. So it's really important to keep the idle pose with your performer. Yeah, let's take the sword, okay? So always remember to start and finish in the same pose. Let's try to make some a winner animation. So we are on the bottle. You've just finished the bottle. You are the winner. And start making the animation. Hands up and back to the idle pose. Hands up and back to the idle pose. Yeah, okay, not bad. And again, and back to the idle pose. Even if you walk around and you go somewhere, remember to go back to the starting point and make the idle pose. It will help your animators or outsourcing animators where you will send your data recorded on the session to have a really nice job and a really nice post-production process with your animations. Remember, starting and ending poses always the same on the motion capture session. Otherwise, if you will have to change the animation after the session, it will make the animation unrealistic. Okay, no, let's say it will be realistic, but it will be not organic. So if you come to the motion capture studio, it means that you want organic animations. So remember about it. It's really important. No acting rehearsals, okay? Just imagine the situation. We have early morning, and young director from some indie company just finished at 6 in the morning the script. He didn't send it before 3 days, 4 days before to the actress. No. He's coming in the morning and...
Hey, Marta. We just finished last night this script. You've got like 15 minutes, okay? And we will start. Please learn it by heart.
Oh my God, sorry.
Oh my. How many times we had to host a customer who was trying to bring some drama between the actors during the session. This way, a few weeks ago, we used to film a 30-second long commercial for 12 hours. So make rehearsals. Try the script with actors, always. Take them to your conference room or, I don't know, to the forest and talk about the script. Tell them what's in the lines. Let them to learn the script. And then record them on the camera. You can use your mobile phone. Record the scene just like it will be in the game finally. If you are happy with the result, it means that you have a really good preparation for the motion capture session. Watch it and then go to the studio. It will help you to shoot more material on the session in a shorter period of time. The result will be much, much better, and the performers themselves will not be fighting with the matter, but they will approach their role in the session in a creative way. Because everything's been thought out and discussed before the session. So remember, make rehearsals with your actors and then go to the session. It will help you to save money, shoot much, much, much more animations, and make the work and atmosphere on the set during the whole day much friendly and comfortable for everyone. Keep trying, especially the cutscenes, but the gameplay animation as well requires getting familiar with the day before so that the stuntman, for example, can prepare some acrobatics or he can bring equipment for stunt job. So, for example, if during the session you will decide that, oh, it will be nice if we will shoot you and you will jump into the air and fly 2 meters and land on the ground. So, if you are not prepared before the session and the stuntman will not bring the equipment, the ropes and mattresses, you won't do it. And it's just one small example. Preset heights. If you are planning to have some scenes which needs tall elements, make sure that the studio you are going to has the appropriate infrastructure. We have 4 meters tall, but not every studio is so big. If there is no option to make such a scene on the existing stage where you are going to, divide the animations into smaller elements and record each of them separately. This isn't easy, but the sooner you will think about it, the better you will solve this issue during the session. Yeah, for this particular example, we will cut the animation for 3 pieces. The approach, climbing, and sitting at the top. And you don't need a high infrastructure. You can record it on the, let's say, 2 meters tall props. Just think about it first, cut it into small pieces, and then you will have a final animation. Remember, first, before you go to the motion capture studio, check the waist and the measurement of the stage. It's quite important. Complete assets. Today, you don't have to imagine during the session what the final animation will look like. We've got something like pre-visualization. And if you provide all the assets a few days before the session with the rigged models, the studio will prepare for you a complete environment for production with a live preview. It will build perfectly matching props, and the virtual camera will allow you to set the frames as in the classic film set. This way, you will get a perfect cutscene in a beta version, which will allow you to prototype the idea or to send it to the customer for the approval. If you send not only the raw meshes, but also the textures to the studio, you will get something almost like a cinematic visual effect, like at this moment on your screen. It's much better for the animation to look like this than to look like this. So, if it's possible and you already have your environment 3D models or your character 3D models, prepare them and send them to the studio before you come for the session. They will prepare everything for the pre-visualization, and you will have a really nice, comfortable job on the session with preview of your character moving on the screen, and it will let you to direct the performer much better and to get much better result. And last but not least, the animation list. This isn't something that's obvious for everyone. Preparing a good and extended animation list gives the comfort of work for your team, but also for the studio team. Each animation should have its name, assigned performer, props, time of duration, remarks, just all, like here, yeah? Just, it's quite easy. In the further stage of post-production, it will be a priceless source of information about which of the animations were best, which animation should be cleaned up. Remember about it, because you extra pay for cleaning the data in every single studio on the planet, so it doesn't matter. Always, the cleaning of the data is extra charged. A list that's been okay, so anyway, list of animation with as many details as you need. For you, especially on the conference, we prepared a draft of this kind of list. You can download it from our website. There is a bones.studio/draft. You will find the animation list there, and you can download it and use it wherever you go, not only to the Bones Studio. I do hope that we've answered many of your questions and that after watching the lecture, you know how to avoid errors and what should not be done. Please remember that motion capture is a brilliant technology allowing to create realistic characters and to speed up the process of the production of character animations. What allows is that this allows you to save money on production, and the final result is very pleasing to the recipient's eyes. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them right now, or feel free to contact me via email, adrian@bones.studio. We have some question here. Does the actress see the render in real time as she acts? Yes, she do. Yes, we have a screen. Philip, can you show the screen? And Dennis? Yeah, make it full screen. So as you can see, we have a preview from whole cameras in the studio. And during the session, those cameras are also the reference cameras which work in a time code simultaneously. So all of the reference videos from the session are perfect fitting the data from the motion capture system. How to ensure that the recorded animations returns to idle? Oh, well, you have to take care about it on the session. Of course, you can make a preview of recorded already animations and to check, does it fit? How to ensure that the recorded animation returns to idle? That was the question. Where are the cameras that see the mocap suits located? Oh, Philip, can you show the cameras at the top of the cage? So as you can see, we have a cage around the stage, and there is 61 cameras at this moment, and all of them are seeing only in infrared light. So this is why we are using markers attached to the body of the actress with the special tape. It's a special tape which odbija, reflect the infrared light sent by the red eye of the camera. The red eyes around the lens in the camera, it's not just for fun. It's it's a lamp with infrared light sent from the lenses from the camera, reflect from the dot and back to the camera. So the single camera don't see the video. They see a cloud of dots around. There is 51 markers attached to the body of an actor. Does the actress see the render in real time as she acts? How to ensure that the recorded animations return to idle? Okay, I think we answered all the questions. Is there any more questions? Just feel free to ask anything you want. If the actress have a prop which for X is changing color, shining, is it seen on record too or must be animated? Which is, for example, is changing color, shining. If the actress have a prop which, for example, is changing colors or shining, etc., is it seen on record too, or must be animated? I'm not sure that I understand the question. If you are asking, is it possible to make a real-time shining of the prop in a preview? Probably yes, but usually we are not doing this. So it must be animated. It must be animated. Did Ninja Theory recorded mocap for Hellblade in your studio? Unfortunately, no. Oh, but maybe someday. We need more questions. You don't start recording from T-pose? We do, but we prepared the Marta before the session, and she did a T-pose at the beginning, and in the end of today talk, she will do the T-pose again too. Of course, we are using the T-pose. I know that with the new cameras from Vicon, it's not necessary to make a T-pose if you will make a range of motion at the beginning of the day, shooting day. But we are using this moment the MX series camera. It's the little bit older version, and it's necessary to make a T-pose at the beginning and in the end of every single animation. So first you make a T-pose, then you go to the idle pose, then you make animation, then you make idle pose, back to the idle pose, and then you go back to the T-pose. And yeah, most of the performers in our studio are doing this choreography 100 times a day, at least. How are the cameras seeing the props? Good question, really good question. So we are doing exactly the same with props what we do with actors. We are using markers. Oh, yeah, we can use this camera. So every single prop have attached markers at the beginning, at the end, so it shows how big is the prop, and 2 or 3 more attached to the prop. And we create a joint or a bone inside of a 3D model, and because of that we can attach this prop, physical prop, with a 3D virtual prop. What else can I say? Oh, why there is so many dots attached to the prop? Because of rotation. If you want to record the rotation, we cannot use only 2 of them at the beginning and in the end of the prop, because there will be no rotation to record. So we need a little bit more of them. And as you can see, each prop, if you want to use them in a virtual preview, must be marked with markers. You can show the wall of our props. We have a nice collection of props for the session, and because we are capturing a lot of animations for games, gameplay animations for games, so we have whole collection of guns, swords, bows, and other equipment like knives, grenades, and everything you can imagine. There is also a workshop behind my back on the left side. Philip, can you show the workshop? It might be really interesting, but don't leave the field. Stay on the stage. So we have a workshop where we are creating props for the sessions. Not only the small one, we can create and build a building, we can create a car, and we can make whole room with furniture where you can perform inside a cutscene, for example. How many actors can you support? 5 at once. Who are using the recording, the face and the fingers? I don't understand. What are using for recording the face and the fingers? Oh, what we are using for recording the face and fingers. For fingers, we are using the Stretch Sense gloves. And those gloves have a special sensors inside of each finger. And when you change the shape of your finger, we are tracking also, because of the sensors inside of the glove, we are tracking the movement of your fingers, and we can create whole finger performance. There is also one more way to capture the fingers. We can attach small markers into each finger at the top. And then we have 5 markers flying around your, your hand. And it's not easy to clean up those data, because markers are really close to each other, and when you close your hands, they are disappearing. But it's also one of the ways to capture the finger movement. We prefer to use gloves because you can capture whole performance of the hand, and markers don't disappear when you close your hands. For face capture, we have a wireless camera attached to the head. And here is the camera with a special lamp. Behind the back, there is a battery because it's fully wireless system. So there is a battery. And Robotic, it's a streaming wireless HD video nadajnik transceiver. Transceiver. Okay, and there is a receiver behind the computer, and thanks to that, actors can perform on the stage remotely. And of course, hands, face, and whole body are recorded simultaneously with time code. So we have a complex performance capture recorded after the session. Guys, can you help me to make it more visible? Because it's too small for me. I can't read it. How many hours, days are you typically mock-upping all the movements for a main character of a game? How many hours, days are you typically mock-upping all the movement for a main character of a game with lots of movements? Oh, it depends. Let's say each character in a typical game have around 150 animations each. And for example, if your game needs 150 gameplay animations, 5 seconds long, it will take 1 day to record all of them. Of course, first meet with the performer, talk about your animations, and then come to the studio. But usually it takes 1 day to create 150 animations. It's totally different when you want to capture cutscene, because cutscenes are a totally different story about motion capture. We are capturing around 3 minutes of cutscenes each day, because it needs a much more technology engaged into the process. And usually it takes a little bit more time for the director to get the final result of the performance when actors are performing cutscenes. 3 minutes, it's usually the time period we are recording each day. What's the weirdest, most interesting prop you have used for mocap? Oh yeah, long time ago, there was a story called Witcher 3, and there is a scene on Unicorn, the sex scene on Unicorn. And yeah, I was the guy who created the Unicorn, where Yennefer, it was Tris? Yennefer. Oh, where Yennefer and Geralt were. Yeah, it was a nice job. Yeah, unicorn. My answer is unicorn. Does it ever make sense have the actor wear something like an unusual clothing, like a flowy robe or weird appendage covered with markers? No, it's not a good idea. No, it's not a good idea. You will get the cloud of flying dots, and it's really difficult to solve it after the session. So, not really. It's possible, but not too many, and better no. Mocap with a dancer for the game bound. How many hours, days were you capturing mocap with a dancer for the game bound? Oh, I'm not sure. It was around 4 or 5 days. But first they made for, I think, 3 days of rehearsals. And then the choreographer, Michał Góral, was working with the actress. I don't remember her name at this moment. Sorry, it was about 3-4 days of the cutscene, of the motion capture sessions. Have you ever built robotic limbs to capture them with mocap? Would it make sense to do so? Robotic limbs? What the limb is? So? Robotic limbs to capture them with mocap, will it make sense? No, not really. No, we never did. and it might be not a good idea. It's better to, for example, use an actor who will perform the robotic movement, and they make some retargeting of the movement into the 3D model, but we never captured the robot. Sorry, no. I need more questions. Perfect. Go on, don't be shy. If you don't have to ask the question. If you would like to direct Marta, for example, she will dance something for you, if you would like. Or if you have any other questions, go on. Don't be shy. You can ask. There's no stupid questions. There's only stupid answers, or bad English grammar. Big monster like dinosaurs. Did we capture animations for big monsters like dinosaurs? No, never. But before I opened the Bones Studio in 2013, I was working as a performer for The Witcher, and I was performing. There's one scene in The Witcher 2, I believe, when one huge monster is carrying a small one on the ground, and we were performing all the monsters in the game. So yeah, it's possible to capture monsters. Not dinosaur. There was no client with dinosaur for capturing, but it's possible. And most of the performers are specialized. There are performers in the world specializing in monsters and strange creatures performances. Where do you find actors? Oh, they find us, to be honest. Because I'm working in this industry for a long time and I'm an actor myself, I already know a lot of performers in Poland, really experienced and really good in English speaking, who can perform most of our orders. But usually we are getting emails from actors, and if you are an actor, feel free to send us some information about you. If you are some other kind of performer, I don't know, you have some special skills like acrobatics, maybe some fighting skills, feel free to send a show reel and some information about you, and who knows? Because I'm doing the casting also I'm the casting director for some projects in our studio. Maybe I will choose you. Why not? Can the actors be fatter? Does this affect the quality of animation? Actors be fat? Of course. Can actors be fatter? Does this affect the quality of animation? Yes. And yes, especially when you have to perform, I don't know, some World of Warcraft characters, and you are a huge person, really huge person, it will affect the animation in a good way, because the physics of the movement of huge character will be in your body. And the spirit of this movement will be recorded with motion capture, and it will help to create more believable animation. So we had nice story about, we had a commercial recorded in our studio, and the character in the animation in this commercial was a squirrel, but a fat one, fat squirrels. And the casting director who was choosing the actor for this commercial chose a really huge actor for this role. And it was the first issue of the session was that we had the right costume size because this guy really needs a huge costume size. But when he started performing the squirrel movements, it was amazing. The final result of the animation is fantastic because he also couldn't make whole movements like skinny people can do. But because of this, the final animation of the squirrel was really, really believable. And because of the comedian style of performance, it was also really funny. So yeah, actors can be fatter. How do you make actors flying? Oh, it's really easy. Philip, take the camera, please, and show them the roof. Oh yeah, we don't need batteries. Who needs batteries? Forget it. We have a rope here. And there is also the place when you can attach the rope. And stuntmen are wearing special jackets for flying. And because of the ropes and because of the jacket, we can simulate the movement of flying character. In this particular studio, we can create the rope system around the stage, so it will help you to fly really around or to simulate the space movement. So yeah, that's what we do. Do you record also animals? Yes, we do. We had some sessions with dogs, and we already captured the dog movement for the game called, what was the Destructive Creations new game? I don't remember the title of the game. I'm sorry, Jarek. I forgot that. But yeah, we did the dogs animations for Destructive Creations developer, and also we are cooperating with one more company where we record the dogs animation. And it's really difficult to do so, to be honest, because quadrupeds are totally different to make a solving after the session than humanoid characters. And but it's possible. To be honest, my dream is to capture the horse riding around, or I don't know, the riding horse, the running horse. But this studio is still too small to record and capture the horse, but it might be really nice to make the motion capture of horse. Yeah, it's my dream. Any tips on making a small home mocap setup? Yeah, of course. You can use, for example, Kinect sensor, not the Kinect One, the Kinect from Xbox One. And it's called, yeah, I know it's one, but it's two. The sensor from Xbox One called Kinect, and you can attach it and use it with software called Brekel. It's B-R-E-K-E-L. Brekel software, and it's really affordable. It's around, I don't remember, about $60 for a license of this software, and with jak to się nazywa? Kinect. And with Kinect you can capture a movement of your body. You will have a small place for recording, and you can't record running or fighting, but it will really help you to create small studio in your room where you can record animations with Kinect. But there is also the suit for motion capture called Neuron. It's from Neuton company. It's neuron system. Oh my God, Neuton neuron system, and it cost around $1,500 or $2,000 for a whole suit, and you can record your movement with this inertial suit, and you don't need cameras for inertial suits. Inertial suits have sensors attached to the body, and inside each sensor there is a gyroscope and accelerometry. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you know what. The same sensor as we have in mobile phones. And each sensor is attached to the bones of your body, and fully calibrated, it lets you to create nice moving animations. There is also one nice suit for motion capture called Rococo. It's from Rococo company from Denmark, and it's called Solo, I believe. And it's also really affordable suit for making motion capture on your own. Those tools are affordable, but they are not perfect. So be ready that you will have not fully perfect animations, because all of them are, for example, floating under the ground, and they are not fully precise like the optical system. When you start from one point, make a circle around, and come back to the starting point, you will be in the starting point, but your character in a 3D on the 3D scene will be in totally different place. But it's not so important sometimes when you are creating the indie game and you want to create, or, for example, learn how to create animations in your home. Brekel, Noitom, Rococo. There is also one more software really useful for learning how to make a mocap. It's called IPI Soft. And this software is using two kinds of sensors, Kinect and PSI. Do you remember the small cameras from PlayStation? The black one with small lens? When you take 6 of them and use the IPI Soft, it will help you, it will let you to make animations of your character inside of your room. Also, the capturing space will not be large, but it will work really, really nice. All you have to do is just to wear a black suit, pajama, or some kind of underwear, and record your body with white background, because those cameras are detecting the movement because of the difference of colors of your body, different color of your body than the background. Oh, it's difficult to explain. IPI Soft, just read about it and you will know what I mean. Any tips on making a small home mocap studio? Well, can you animate a character with 4 arms? Oh, can we animate the character with 4 arms? Yes, we can, but it will be kind of hybrid. It will be kind of hybrid. So first we have to record the performer with 2 arms doing some stuff, and then record the other part of other hands, and then in a post-production, animator will cut this, glue it into this, and make animation. And so that's the way to make a creature with 4 arms. Is there another way to create animation with 4 arms, guys? To find the performer with 4 arms? No, yeah. Yeah, there's one more way. Find the performer with 4 arms. Golem. Can you animate the character with 4 arms? Yes, we do. Okay, so we need more questions, but in the meantime, when you are thinking about your questions, I would like to tell you that if you are looking for internship, we are open for people who want to learn how to animate characters for video games. And if you have any experience with 3D animation, feel free to send us some details about yourself, and maybe you will join our team here in Bones Studio. We are located in Warsaw, Poland, on Strażacka Street, and we are looking for 3D animators who will want to join to our studio. We have really nice projects on the way and also already finished, and I'm really sure you will have a really good fun working with us. So if you are interested about making motion capture, first you can start at your home, and then when you will be more experienced, send your showreel to the Bones Studio. Hey, anybody? It's online streaming and online conferences are really cool, but I can't see the audience. It's really helpful to see the audience when you are on the stage. When you are alone, in front of the camera, okay, I'm not so alone. But anyway, it's really strange feeling. Is anybody there? Do you make your own ideas and projects? Yes and no. If you are asking, are we doing our own games? No. We also don't do the movies or short movies here in the studio, but we have our own projects, and at this moment we have some projects dedicated to build the infrastructure in the studio, and we have also one project where we are creating the new application which will allow 3D animators to create fantastic animations themselves without Motion Capture Studio. But it's our projects inside of the studio and not about the games, films, commercials. No, it's about technology here and about creating the better way for performance capture of an actor. Okay, so if there is no more questions, I think we are done then. Okay, let's say we have 10 seconds before we will say goodbye. No more questions? So, once again, I want to thank you for your time and thank you for joining our lecture here on a GIC conference. And I would like to, I want to show you my team who was working, long time before today conference talk to prepare all of this for you. Thank you, guys. Bones Studio, say bye. Bye.